for the next one, and the author is very good at recapping things as you go through the next book. So,
which is good.
Anyway, Ben wanted to move on. I just wanted to talk about it.
Yes, I do want to move on. Mike,
Yeah.
you have a pretty great topic planned for us.
Yeah. So
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Why? Yes, thank you.
So we see, I guess I could start it with Mighty Number 9 is the famous, Kickstarter that happened, and that's came out of Inafune getting basically kicked out of Capcom. Inafune is the creator and overlord of Mega Man.
Mm-hmm.
And since Inafune's left, we've gotten... Geez, when did he actually leave? Was it before X8, X7, X8?
I think it was before X7.
So then, since then, we've gotten like X7, X8, 9, 10.
Is that when the X RPG came out?
Yes,
Yeah.
that was after 8.
Mm-hmm.
So Axel.
Battle Network's gone on for 12 games, and
It's still going?
yeah, it's really long. I think it's like 7 games, and then after like the second or third one, they started doing the Pokemon thing where there's like multiple colors of each one.
That's yeah.
So anyway, basically, Mega Man is one prime example, but I want to talk about just general IPs, like game franchises that have kind of gone off the deep end and just misdirected over time.
Okay, I mean, I think the best place to start with the topic of mistreated IPs is let's ask the question of, are there games that you guys think should just stop in general? Like, let's stop making this game in particular.
Sports
and
games.
Sports games?
Most of them.
Yeah, so I kind of agree with you, but at the same time, I understand why they do it.
Sure.
Rosters update and all that, and
Rosters
each year
update,
they
people buy it, so why not keep making this game?
That's the fact. That's the thing, is that they sell. That's the
Yeah.
biggest problem with it, is that it sells, so they keep doing it.
Which I guess makes it not actually a problem.
Well, yeah, not for them.
Well,
yeah, not
it's just a
exactly
delay for
not
us.
for them.
So when you look at that, though, if you look at just sports games, so which sports games are we talking about? Because there are certain ones that did die because their quality was horrible. And
Yeah,
then
like
there are
what?
ones... Like what? Like every single other version of any NFL game other than, like,
That's
Madden?
because they bought
not
out
just
rights
licensing.
to...
Yeah, but they
Yeah.
stopped... Their quality started to decline.
Well, no,
over
that's
the-
not the only reason, though. The EA bought all of the rights to the team and players
Yeah.
for Madden, so none of the other football games could actually use real teams or players in the NFL.
Which means you have to get creative. And like when sports get creative and try to make new things, it sometimes can work out pretty well. But you don't see that often happening with sports games because people don't want new quirky things with their sports games that often.
They want the real thing.
Unless you put Mario on the cover, who cares?
Exactly.
Yeah. I'd play Mario NFL. But I think, like, as far as sports games go, there's a very easy solution. It's not like they have a great engine that's going into these sports games, but it's not like the engine updates that much each year. So what I would think is, like, create a new Madden every 5 years and put out on the network like a $30, $40 roster update every year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like that would be great.
It's coming. It'll come eventually. They'll make a platform for each like branch of sport, and then
geez.
I mean,
that'll be a thing that you buy, and then it'll update each year for a cost, and
We'll see.
it'll be
I
like
mean,
that for the entire
we'll
console
see.
generation.
The biggest thing right now, like if we're talking about games that need to stop, I actually just had somebody comment to me. They said, "Tell them to stop making WoW." And that's, I mean, let's be honest. Can we beat a dead horse? There are millions of people who play it. It's not as many as play every single one of those sports games every year
or
to
even
buy them.
or League of Legends,
Yep.
which
And
it's
so
kind of the modern day WoW right now is League of Legends.
Yeah.
That's why
So
they're
there's
doing
a
Heroes
lot
the
of games
Storm.
that that are like
As
that.
far
But
as
in terms
popularity,
of a
obviously, the
mistreated
games are
IP,
Popularity,
which is,
money.
I think, the topic was mistreated IPs. So
Yeah.
to go back to that, sports games I can see being mistreated, although they're not really, because the IPs are strong and they're
Yeah.
producing every year at a high
Fair.
quality, so they're not really being mistreated.
Yeah. And it's
Mistreated
not-
would be something like Sonic.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
What the?
so
you know,
Madden
or-
is something. It's not mistreating the IP. It's mistreating the people buying it because they're
Which is
making
fine,
it
but
every
it's
year.
not the IP's fault.
Right.
you know.
Exactly. I
They're
agree
doing
with
what
you.
they're doing and making tons of money. Leave them to
Yep.
it. As long as people buy it, people buy it.
You know what franchise I would say was going off the deep end, but they brought it back? Tomb Raider.
Yes.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Tomb Raider
Raider
games
definitely
sucked.
Turned it around.
Like what? It was like 4 or 5, and then they just rebooted.
Every
now it's
successive
awesome.
game after 2 just kept trudging along
Declining.
and keep getting worse
Which
and
typically
worse.
is what happens.
Yeah.
Look at Uncharted
Yeah.
3.
Oh my God.
Ooh,
James.
Uh-oh. You're
shots
gonna drop
fired.
that, right?
Uncharted
That drop the
3
mic?
is
Like Uncharted
easily
3.
the best
No,
of
it is
the
not.
three Uncharted
it is the worst
games.
one.
It is
That's
absolutely
insane,
like
James.
it's the most beautiful of the games.
Oh man, what did
B,
I? What did I
it
do?
has
It's most
the
beautiful
best
just because the
like
graphics-
relationship and growth between the characters of Drake and Elena. And C,
his
they almost
randomly
killed the
destroying
character in that
everything
game.
that
It was
exists.
so good.
Oh,
It's the
love it.
best Uncharted game until 4 comes out.
Until 4
obviously.
comes out.
4 is gonna be awesome. My best friend
4 is gonna be awesome.
just starts working at Naughty Dog tomorrow.
Oh,
What? That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go visit him. I'm gonna ask him to get a tour of the Naughty Dog office.
Cool. Woot.
I applied
Yeah.
to Naughty Dog.
Are you going to bring your best friend Ben, James?
He moved to California. It's
I
down
know.
near LA, so you have to take a little trip.
I
Yeah,
know
sure.
where
Santa
Naughty
Monica,
Dog is.
yeah.
I'll go
sure.
there.
Yeah.
I will go there, James.
All right, I'll let you know when I'm going out there.
Good. Good.
I mean,
Better.
didn't we just get an apology though from Sega about the fact that they mistreated like their entire stable of games?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that was like 10 years too late. 15 years too late.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but that's what we're talking about. Honestly, Metal Gear, we were just talking about.
So
You
what
know,
other
they-
what other IPs from Sonic have they mistreated? From Sega have they
from
mistreated?
Sega? No, Sega as a whole said that they've mistreated
Yeah.
like their entire game stable.
But
They
what
actually
else? Like,
made the
I think
announcement.
I think they specifically outed Sonic
Yeah, they did.
on
Yes.
that one.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I don't think it was a blanket statement. I think it
You-
was
do you guys know about Sonic Boom?
yeah, absolutely.
Oh my god.
Best game ever made, James.
Oh.
Best game ever made.
I
Game
watched-
of the year.
I watched
every year.
I watched Game Grumps, and
Yeah.
that whole the Game Grumps playthrough of Sonic Boom
Ridiculous.
was such a treat. So
Oh, yeah.
good.
Sonic Boom is clearly the best Sonic game ever since Sonic and the Black Knight and Sonic,
Sonic 06.
Unleashed. Sonic 06.
Uh,
Sonic Colors.
Wasn't there Sonic Golf?
Wouldn't surprise.
Don't remember.
and then, yeah,
Or
there's
some
so
sort of
many.
Sonic sports game. I don't remember now.
You know what's surprising
So,
is that they don't make a Sonic racing game. Like that
They
just
did.
feels like that just makes sense.
That
There is
feels like an
Sonic-
auto
there's a Sega
include, and
All-Star
they don't
Racing
do it
Okay.
ever.
Yeah.
There is a
Uh,
Sega racing game.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
It was not good.
Other you know I wouldn't say that this IP is abused, but I would like it to stop. Is the Call of Duty IP
Yeah, I mean,
and
I would
Battlefield?
agree with you, but also to Chris's
It makes
point
money.
about the
Yeah.
exactly, and people are playing them, they're enjoying them.
I actually just played in the beta all weekend, and we were talking. Me and Ben were actually talking about that about Battlefield, and it's like it seems decent. It's very similar to the last game. They've updated some stuff.
That's
but-
always the same. You can use that description ever since after
Call of Duty 2.
no 4.
But they need to go back. If
Modern,
they're
Modern
going to
Warfare.
do it,
Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
the point is, again, not necessarily mistreating, because they're making quality games that sell. I think the mistreatment would be more games like, which again, Mega Man, where you've had them announced, canceled. Like the entire IP has come down to where if somebody even released a Mega Man game right now, you might be hesitant to play it just because you're kind of like going, really?
Yeah.
At this point?
Yeah.
Well, a new Mega Man game's coming out tomorrow.
Yeah, Mega Man Legacy?
Legacy Collection, yeah.
Legacy Collection.
What?
But is that a new game, or is that
No. It's
No,
a re-release
it's-
of Mega Man 1 through 6.
okay?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's not
Yeah.
a new game.
But they're trying to get people excited again, right?
Yeah.
So they can announce Legends 3
So
again.
they can destroy
And
our
that's-
dreams once again. Oh my gosh, Legends 30. My
Legends is
So-
one of my favorite
My
series.
poor heart.
and
My poor
they just
heart.
ran into the ground.
Yeah, it was so good.
I'm curious to think. I mean, do you think Inafune's what is it, Mighty Number 9? That's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to be significantly? Do you think that's going to be great?
I think it's going to be hailed as great. I think it's going to get those reviews. I think, my personal opinion, I'll think it's good. Like he started the project. I mean, because I backed it before it caught on wind. Like somebody on Reddit posted it, and I saw it. It's like
James, the Mighty Number 9 hipster.
That's not
Yeah. I did it before it was.
the reason I say I caught it early is the first video he made about look at this thing I want to do. It was very humbling of himself. Like, look, this is like I've always been passionate about this. I've always loved the Mega Man franchise. This is gonna be my baby of a game that's kind of an homage to these other games I helped make that I love so much. And then now you look at it and it's like it's exploded so much and they've got so much money from the Kickstarter that
They
it's just
did another
it
Kickstarter.
feels like it feels like they lost a lot of the heart that the first video gave. It's just like, so I'm worried they're going to pander a lot to what a lot of the masses want and less so to what Inofune feels the game should be.
The dream, the essence of what Mega Man
Yeah.
was.
Like,
So
I'm still
I just
really
don't think-
excited for it.
Yeah, I
but
think it'd be good, but not
I'm
great.
worried now that like it's already a kind of like a year later than it's supposed to be, and then they've delayed it again, so it's not coming out till next year. It's not a good sign. Like
Yeah.
that they're having issues finishing the game is kind of leaving me with a sadness. So we'll see.
Absolutely. It'll be interesting to see for sure. I do want to throw in my thought of a mistreated IP, just for the sheer inconsistency. Like this, I feel like this IP has had some amazing, awesome games, and then some shit, and then some. All right, this was okay. To some more shit, to some awesome games,
Okay.
and it's just so inconsistent. It drives me nuts, and that's Assassin's Creed.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
Like I think that is a great example of something that's mistreated because it's never the same game. Like I know
There's
I'm
no
in a minority
consistency to
for
the games.
exactly. I know I'm in a minority for enjoying 1 a lot. I know that there were a lot of things wrong with 1, but I still enjoyed playing the game.
Same.
2 was great.
Yep.
Brotherhood was
Where it peaked in my opinion.
I liked 2 more than I liked Brotherhood.
Yeah.
I liked Brotherhood and Revelations a lot.
I loved Revelations. I liked being able to see Altair again
Yeah,
and
no,
Ezio.
The entire Ezio trilogy was like fantastic. Like, it's
Absolutely.
the high point of the whole series.
And then they did Assassin's Creed 3. They made a character that I just couldn't give 2 shits about.
Nobody could.
And they just did not make the game interesting. Like before Assassin's Creed 3, I platinumed every Assassin's Creed game. I went and I found every goddamn feather, every, stupid like passage. I opened every chest. I did all of that because I loved those games so much and I wanted to just play them as much as I possibly could. And then 3 came and I played through like half of it and I was like, I don't care about this, and I stopped playing it for a little while, and then I'm like, I really just want to beat the game. So I just powered through, beat the game, and that was that. And then Black Flag came out, and I would, other than the fact that the character was not my favorite character, I enjoyed the gameplay the most in Black Flag.
Yeah.
Like I loved finding the sea shanties. I loved, being on my ship and fighting. I loved all the things that they added. And that got me like really, really hyped for Unity. And then Unity came out. They gave me again another character that I could give 2 shits about. And I think I've played through like 5 chapters of that game, and I just haven't picked it up since.
Yeah, I uninstalled it from my PlayStation. I couldn't take it.
I just recently reinstalled it, hoping that I would just go through and beat it.
I haven't touched it.
And it's like now I'm looking at what's the next one coming out again? What's it called?
Syndicate.
Syndicate. That one looks good again, but it's like I'm terrified to play. I mean, fact of the matter is, I'm probably going to get it just because I
You love the franchise.
I love the franchise. I love the idea of the franchise.
I think of Assassin's Creed almost the opposite of like the Call of Duty thing, where Call of Duty is being mistreated artistically, and I feel like Assassin's Creed is the other way. What amazes me about Assassin's Creed, and always has since 2 came around, and 2 and Brotherhood and Revelations, was that they were able to turn around a game in a year, and every time it was solid.
Yeah,
every time it was a solid game.
Yeah.
Well,
they had two separate studios actually working.
They have more technical issues with the ones that people didn't like. It's simply because you did not latch on to the main character properly.
Typically, yeah.
And then there were some technical issues, like the Native American, which, listen, I loved it. I loved the setting, but
the setting was great.
One,
it had a lot
do
of
not
potential
make
too.
your main character not the main character for a third of the playthrough.
Yeah.
And then do not just put mindlessly, like, there's a certain amount of like tasking that you have to do in a lot of games, and I get that, but dear God, it just bogged you down with the constant. There was nothing fun about it. It was, I'm dealing with petty squabbles all the time, and it wasn't fun.
No.
So, but I think they did. I agree with the being mistreated as an IP, 100%.
I felt like 3 was technically the worst one too. Like 2, like all the 1 and 2 all had technical issues where things would pop into existence and stuff, and you accept that with that sort of ridiculously scoped game.
Mm-hmm.
But 3 was the first time where I would get stuck in stuff and have to reset and lose progress. Like that was the first time that ever happened.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah, that makes
sense.
Kind of
thing.
Another franchise. If we're done about Assassin's Creed, I was going to change games.
No, that's fine. I have nothing more to say.
I was going to say Final Fantasy.
Yes.
But we'll see what's going to happen with 15. But again, like I would never would have thought that Final Fantasy would become one of those. Oh, we're big in like a big MMO sort of thing, which is what 14 is.
Well,
or
they basically
13,
made an MMO.
13.2, and 13.3, which I know a lot of people love those games, but I think the people who tend to like those games are the younger generation who didn't grow up with 6 to 10.
Uh-huh.
It's almost hard to call Final Fantasy a single IP because it's like they kind of mistreat 7 a little bit. They really mistreated 13, but then the ones in the middle are kind of just what they are.
They're not horrible. Like 10 was really good. 9 was
9's my favorite.
I liked 10.
Of those,
I
like
liked
from
9.
8 to 12, I think 9's the best one in my opinion.
Is that the one with the school?
No, that's Type 0.
That's Type 0.
No. The one with
that's 8. You're thinking about
that's 8 with Balam.
That's 8. Which is the one with the like Vivi and the mage and all that stuff. Is that 9? Yeah, that's the best. Yeah, that's the best one. Just mentally getting my head right on that one.
Sure. So I'm looking forward to 15. There's a lot that can go wrong with it, but if they do it right, there's a lot that can go very, very well.
Yeah, 15 could either kill Final Fantasy or bring the whole IP back up to prominence. There's a lot riding on 15.
They announced 16 last year at E3, didn't they?
No.
I'm pretty sure that 16 got announced.
No. I promise.
I don't
there's no
believe
16 yet. They changed.
What's up, Cynthia
They changed
Stronger?
they changed 13 versus to 15.
Right.
They just announced FF7 remake. World of Final Fantasy is coming out, and then they also announced a new studio that's doing a new project, but there's no 16 yet.
Have you guys played the RPG, the Final Fantasy RPG, or not?
They're all RPGs.
No.
What?
The Final Fantasy
Final
RPG.
Fantasy
Not RPG, the MMO. Sorry, the MMO.
14?
14?
No, I've not played it.
I played the beta and the first version. I haven't played Realm Reborn.
Okay, no,
Cynthia,
I've
I'm
played
dancing
Realm.
because I have absolutely nothing to add.
Totally
to the
out of
conversation
I
of
played.
Final
I
Fantasy.
played Realm
Sorry.
Reborn. It's actually very good as a.
I've heard it's a lot better than it started, and I actually liked it when it started, but a lot of people complained it was too difficult and stuff. So I mean, to each his own, I guess. But I've heard they've improved a lot since they redid it.
Yeah, it's much better than it was.
Yeah,
Are you ready to move on, Ben?
I'm ready to move on. As soon as you started talking about Final Fantasy, it's like I'm completely out of it because, you know, it's not in my wheelhouse of games that I have played.
That's fair.
Because, you know, they just they don't capture me the same way they capture other people. I understand that people like them, but it's not for me. Why don't we move on to our next topic, though?
Yes.
This is actually